सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। एवं च नेति नेत्यर्थं गमयेतां परस्परम्। एवं तत्त्वमसि इत्यस्य गम्यमाने फले कथम्। एवं च नेति नेत्यर्थं गमयेतां परस्परम्। Each word tvam determines the meaning of tat because of samanadikaranyam. Tat determines the meaning of tvam because of samanadikaranyam. Neti neti, it is bhagatyaga lakshanam. So that word, the expression is not used here. Anvaya vyatirika is all that we find all along here. But most common is bhagatyaga lakshanam. The tyaga, let go or the contradictory elements. Bhaga retain the common elements. Evam cha neti neti artham gamayetam parasparam. Thus parasparam tat enables us to understand the meaning of tvam because of the equation. Tvam enables us to understand the meaning of tat because of the identity. Evam tattvamasi yasya gamyamane. Thus this is how we know meaning of the word tattvamasi. Shrutahani ashruti-kalpana nishpramanika. Therefore there is no reason to imagine any karma involved here, kuru, chintaya, etc. So you don't need to imagine what's not there because what is there is quite sufficient to accomplish the phalam of moksha. So therefore then why do you have to imagine some karma? यस्मादेवं विचार्यमाणे क्रियायाः अनवकाशः तस्माद् आद्यन्तमध्येषु कुर्वेत्यद् विरोधि अतः निकल्पामो श्रुतत्वाच्च श्रुतत्यागोऽपि अनर्थकः. So how far have we come here? or 212. Not 2-1, that's not right. No, we have 220, not 212. ठीक है. न कल्पामो श्रुतत्वाच्च श्रुतत्यागोऽपि नर्थकः तस्मात् आद्यन्तमध्येषु आदौ तत्त्वमसीति उपदेशे मध्ये पदार्थशोधन अन्वयव्यतिरेकग्रहणकाले अन्ते निर्विचिकित्स ब्रह्मानुभवकाले. So, first when you listen to the Upadesha Tattvamasi, and then you deliberate upon the meaning of Tat and Tvam by the Anvaya Vitarika Bhagatyaga Lakshana, and realize that Brahman is the most common denominator, which is reality. It's not that it is only common denominator. That is the reality of Tat as well as Tvam. The other aspects, whether in Tat and Tvam, are Aupadhika. That Brahman appears remote because Upadhi. Brahman appears limited in Atma because Upadhi. So remoteness of Brahman and limitedness of the self or Atma are because of Upadhi, not because of inherent nature. Therefore, Kuru itetad virodhi. Therefore, at no time you have to do something. Whether listening to it, whether Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, at no time anything has to be done. Meaning that to accomplish something which is not accomplished, that's the karma. Ataha na kalpamaha. Therefore, we do not imagine any karma. Ashrutatvad, because Shruti does not mention any karma. Shrutatyagopi anarthakaha. And giving up what the Shruti says only brings about anartha, meaning you are going to misguide it. You try to interpret the statement in your own way for whatever agenda you have. That will bring about anartha, because then you are sacrificing the very purpose of the Shruti, of which the role is to reveal the truth. And you are twisting what the Shruti says, will bring about anartha. Then it says, yathanubhuyate truptihi bhuje vakyat na gamyate. Yatha bhuje trupti anubhuyate. Ananda only comes from anubhuti. Trupti, contentment, happiness comes only for bhuji, from experiencing, eating the food. Vakyan na gamyate. Simply vakya, that may you eat, or something like that, or I am eating this. That kind of vakya does not bring about the satisfaction which the action brings about. So therefore, in practical life, it is action that brings about satisfaction, not simply knowledge. Vakyasya vidrutihi. Vidrutihi. So, vidharanam, artha avadharanam. That merely understanding the meaning of Mahavakya could not bring about the satisfaction of experiencing Ananda. Goshakrit payasi kriya. Goshakrit, the cow dung. Payasi, the payas or the kheer. So Goshakrit, cow dung, is not the means or sadhanam for making this payasam. Similarly also, Merely Vakya cannot become a means of enjoying, Ananda of Brahman. Utsargatah Vakyam na artha paroksha nirnaya. It is true that as a general rule, Vakya does not bring about aparoksha jnanam, brings about paroksha jnanam. But that prakrute tasya apvadakamaha, apvadaka, there is something that brings about apvada in the present case, the case under discussion. Satyam. So Satyam means you are right in general, that yes, Vakya can bring about paroksha jnanam. Anubhava can bring about aparoksha jnanam. As our Puja Swami described that, I described to American students what is a laddu, bundi laddu in the US. Describe it as yellow, and so it's this kind of granular structure and this kind of taste. And only when they came to Rishikesh and there was Bhandara, and when bundi laddu was served and that was put on his palate, that is when he knew what the taste of laddu is. So therefore what he got from description of laddu was only paroksha jnana, indirect knowledge. The experience that brought about the immediate knowledge. That is true that anatmarthat vakyat paroksha bodhanam. That is true for everything that is anatma. Any vakya that involves anatma, this is true. Pratyagatmani natvevam. Pratyagatma, which is already accomplished. Anatma means what is not accomplished. So what is not accomplished, their vakya cannot accomplish what is not accomplished. Karma alone can accomplish. Therefore, karma of bhuji kriya will be required. For who? For an atma. Atma being already accomplished, therefore no kriya is required. All that is required to elimination of the Brahma. Pratyagatmani natvevam sankhya praptivat adhruvam. Like the sankhya, the tenth, recognizing that I am the tenth man, that knowledge itself brings about satisfaction of discovering the tenth man, of becoming tenth man. Continuing the verse 203 on the page 410. So Sankhya Praptivat, Dashama Sankhya Praptivat, Aparoksha Jnana Sadhanatvam Vakyasya Dhruvam Eva. Therefore, in this case, since Mahavakya reveals my true nature, it's already there. Not that I will become Brahma. Brahman already shines as Atma. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudotmana prakashate. Atma is shining as Brahman, then Guda, you don't recognize it as such. Therefore, in this case, Vakya brings about the aparoksha jnanam. Kutait apekshayam svata aparoksha pratyagatma eva brahmatvopadeshat. All right. So in case of Atma, we will accept that the Vakya brings about like aham tvam dashmosi, therefore dashmosmi. Tvam dashmosmi, see what is Atma. You are tenth, and then we recognize I am the tenth. Here kutah iti, when you are Brahman, is apekshayam swatah aparoksha pratyagatma brahmatvopadeshat. So similarly, this is similar to tvam dashmosi. Tvam tat asi. Same thing, because swatah aparoksha pratyagatma eva brahmatvopadeshat. So the aparoksha, Atma, that is an immediate reality for me. Pratyeka the innermost reality about me, that alone is taught as Brahman and nothing else. Like the 10th man was told that you are the 10th man. And so also one is Brahman is told that you are Brahman. So the verse 203 says, Swayam Vedyatva Paryaya Sapramanaka Ishyata Nivruttavahamas Siddha Svatmano Anubhavaschana. Swayam Vedyatva Paryaya Swayam Pramanaka. So Atma can be called Swayam Vedya or Swayam Pramanaka. Nothing else is Swayam Pramanaka. A pot is not Swayam Pramanaka, meaning that a pot cannot reveal itself. It requires the light of the eyes to reveal the pot, needs the light of the eyes to reveal itself. So nothing in the world is swapramanakam, self-revealing or self-establishing except Atma. So therefore the rule that applies to Anatma, that the Upadesha about Anatma brings about only Paroksha Jnanam, does not apply to Atma because Atma is Aparoksha already. Swapramanaka Pramana Nirapeksha Prakashmanata Svabhava Atma. Pramana Nirapeksha Prakashmanata. So Prakashmanata, Prakashmanatvam, shining. Pramana Nirapeksha. See this pot. Prakashmanata, pot gains Prakashmanata, pot shines only when it is illumined by the light of eyes or consciousness emitting through the eyes. So ultimately Anatma has to be illumined by the consciousness, for which the mind and sense organs become the medium. But self does not require any, because it is consciousness. Pramana Nirapeksha Prakashamanata. Pramana Nirapeksha Prakashamanata. The nature of Atma is Prakashmanata, shining. Pramana Nirapeksha, without the need of Pramanam, without need of any illuminator. Pramana, you can call it illuminator. A Pramanam, or means of knowledge, illumines the object of knowledge, reveals the object of knowledge. Atma is self-revealing, therefore it doesn't require something else to reveal it. So that is Swapramanakaha Atma Ishyadam Swayam Jyotishtavadi Shrutehe Ityartha. So because Upanishad says Swayam Jyotihi. So Bhrudanika Upanishad Yajnavalkya Janaka Samvada. So Swayam Vedya and Swapramanaka. Swayam Vedya really means that it is self-revealing. Swapramanaka means self-revealing, and Swayam Vedya means one who knows oneself. Now that is a little bit of, but Swapramanaka reveals itself. Swam Vedyatva is self-evident, you can say, but not self-knowing. Otherwise we will accept the duality of the knower known in Atma itself. So this is what the Buddhas say. Swasamvedya. That's what they say. Swasamvedya or Swayam Vedya would be the same thing. Nivrittau ahamaha. Ahamaha nivrittau. Aham, sixth case of the word aham. ahamaha nivruttau. So in ahankara, tathacha vakyat ahamaha. Sixth case, the word aham is ahankarasya. What is that ahankara? Brahma vedakasya. Ahankara is sense of individuality, which arises from the identification of body-mind complex. And so that ahankara becomes bhedaka, is the one that divides the Atma from Brahman. Because an Atma becomes confined to ahankara, and therefore feels a sense of separateness from Brahman. So what creates in me the sense of separateness? Even though the separateness is not there between Atma and Brahman, both being consciousness, what creates the sense of separateness is the upadhi, identification, the upadhi called ahankara, the product of identification, the upadhi. Ahamaha means ahankarasya brahma vedakasya. Veda means division. So that creates a sense of division between Atma and Brahma. Nivrittau. When that ahankara now, it recedes, it drops. Nivrittau svatmana anubhasa siddheva na asmakamiti. So we don't need the revelation of Atma because there is Swam Vedya or Swapramanaka or Swam Siddha or Swam Jyoti. So Swam Jyotistvadi Shrute, Swam Vedyatva Swam Jyoti. Swapramanaka, Swam Vedya, Swam Jyoti means self-effulgent. Not like Buddha Swasamvedya, that one knows oneself. So Svatma Anubhavasya Siddha Eva. As far as we are concerned, Atma is always experienced. Normally, in case of Anatma, the experience has to be created. By bringing the object of experience into the range of the Pramanam, then the part is brought in the range of Pramana with eyes, then the part becomes known or is experienced. But Atma doesn't require that for being experienced. Svatmana anubhavasya siddhaheva. That I experience myself always that I am, ahamasmi, sadabhami, kadachin naham apriya, iti atma anubhava siddhaheva. Then only any other vyavahara can proceed, otherwise no vyavahara can proceed. For anything asiddha to become siddha, some siddha must be there. Some self-effulgent entity must be there. Some self-existing entity must be there. Some self-sufficient entity must be there. Then only the world is. Therefore, there must be something that providing it the isness or satta. World shines, that means something that provides spurti. Words give me happiness, something must provide the ananda. Svatmana anubhavasya siddha eva. Here we don't have to create anubhava of the Atma, we have to recognize the Atma. That what I am experiencing is Atma. No, that what I am experiencing is Atma, but at the same time Ahankara also is experienced, Ahamvritti also is experienced. So that is where the Anvaya Vyatireka or Atma Anatma Viveka is required. That Ahankara is Anatma. Right now both of them are experienced together and therefore they are taken to be one entity. Although the Ahamvritti does not exist in the same place as Atma, same as Yushma, Dasmat, Pratyaya, Gocharayoho, etc. Ahankara is Yushmat, Pratyaya, Gochara. Atma is Atma, Asmat, Pratyaya, Gochara, sort of. and both of them are lumped together, and therefore ahankara is taken to be atma and atma is taken to be limited aham. So as a result of the teaching that you are Brahman, Brahman means I am limitless and I cannot be ahankara limited. So where does that arise from? It arises from the taking myself to be the body, etc. So what needs to be done is to give that recognizing that it is a false identification that is creating this notion or this Brahma, and the distance that exists between Atma and Anatma, I have to own up that distance. You can call it creating distance anyway, but really distance is always there. It is not that the distance between Atma and Anatma is erased. The avidya, avaranam, vikshepa creates the notion of the lumping together. Even avidya cannot create oneness of Atma and Atma. Can create the notion of that oneness, notion of identity. Therefore, we do not have to create the experience of Atma, which would be the case for all Anatma. Svatmana anubhava siddha eva na asmakamiti. For us, the experience, if you want to call it, of Atma is already existing. So all that is necessary, Brahma bhedakasya nivrittihi. That Atma is experienced as Brahman even now. But that experience is misinterpreted on account of this ahankara identification. So ahankara is called as Brahma bhedaka. And so when that ahankara is false, that is recognized, nothing separating Brahman from Atma or Atma from Brahman. Therefore the very experience is recognized as Brahman. Tena kinchit anupannamityartha. Therefore, as far as we are concerned, since Atma is Swam Jyoti, your contention that Vakya can only create the Paroksha Jnanam may be so for an Atma, but Atma is Swam Jyoti, Swam shining, and therefore it's already experienced. So Vakya can create Paroksha Jnanam means indirect experience. But here already a Paroksha Jnanam or a Paroksha Anubhava is there. It is a matter of recognizing or owning up that what is this ahankara is not that aparoksha. Vimatam parokshartha jnanajanakam vakyatvat sammatvat ityadi pravageshu. So the Purva Pakshi is using this reasoning. Vimatam parokshartha jnanajanakam. Vimatam mahavakya, like a vakya. Parokshartha jnanajanakam can only create the parokshartha jnanam, indirect knowledge. Vakyatvat, like any other vakya. Sambhatavat. So we all accepted that a vakya can only create there is a mountain, and the mountain is such and such. All these vakyas only can create paroksha jnanam. Ityadi prayagashu anatma vishayatvam upadi. So that mountain and what are we talking about is anatma. Therefore the vakya creates paroksha jnanam when the object of vakya is anatma. That's called upadi, means that is a uncommon factor or a specific reason for creating this. If the upadi is not there, the special condition is not there in this case, then this rule will not apply. Dashamastvam ityada vivicharaschaiti. We say that every vakya creates only paroksha jnanam. How about dashamastvamasi? The 10th man creates the aparoksha jnanam. Because already I am the 10th man. Atra dukkhanuvavirodha shanka na karya. But what about this fact that I am experiencing dukkha? How do you say I am Brahman? Dukkhasya vyabhicharitvena atmadharmatvasya nirastatvat. Earlier on this discussion came, dukkitva is vyabhichari. Their example was a dream, but why do you have to go to a dream? When you're experiencing happiness, dukkitva is not there. When sukhitvam comes, there is a moment of sukhitvam that I'm happy. Dukhit, unless you expect that in waking state you can never be happy, no, you are. In waking state also, there are moments of happiness when you find that sukhiyaham, I'm happy. So that is the example. Why do you have to go to dream? I don't know. In dream is the same stuff as waking. How do you say in a dream I was happy? The same problem as waking. In waking itself, there are moments when I'm happy, that time dukkitva is not there. So, nirastatvat, dukkhi would have been my nature if I was consistently dukkhi. That is called nature, which is there consistently, for which there is no reason to be. But dukkitva is a reason to be there, because something happened out there and then this was a reaction, etc. I am, for example, is nature because it is there without any reason. Vishaya dharmatvat chayati. That number one, we already said that dukkitvam is not consistent because it interrupted by sukhitvam, and therefore dukkitvam cannot be svabhava. And secondly, Vishaya dharmatva, dukkha is the nature of anatma or Vishaya, not nature of Atma. So buddhinam, next verse is 204. Buddhinam vishayo dukkham no yasya vishaya mataha kutosya dukkha sambandha dushesyat pratyagatmanah. Buddhinam vishaya dukkham. Buddhinam, buddhi vrittinam, meaning that this dukkha is experienced by buddhi, not experienced by atma. The idea is who experiences dukkha? Ahankara. Buddhi vritti means ahankara. It's ahankara that experiences dukkhitvam. Dukkhi is not atma, dukkhi, dukkha asyasti, dukkhi is ahankara. And it becomes sukhi also. Dukhyam asmiti dukkha dharmavatvena ahankarta eva anubhavat. So dukkha dharmavatvena, dharmavatvam possessing the dharma of dukkha. So dukkhiham asmi, when I say I am dukhi, then the I possesses the dharma of dukkha. So dukkham asya asti iti dukhi. So one who possesses dukkham is called dukhi. So dukkha dharmavatvam, therefore I possess the nature of dukkha. Ahankartu eva, that experience belongs to ahankara. That experience does not belong to atma, experience belongs to ahankara, dukhyaham. Tasya vishayabhutam dukkham, therefore dukkha is the object of experience of ahankara. न बुद्धिवृत्त्याश्रय अहंकार तो साक्षिणः. So, who is buddhivritti ashraya or ahankruti ashraya? The sakshi, the consciousness, ashraya of the buddhivritti. So, buddhivritti experiences dukkha, not the witness of buddhivritti. So, dukkha is a vishaya, the object of experience of ahankara or buddhivritti. It is not the object of experience of the illuminator of buddhi. Call it witness of buddhi or illuminator of buddhi. Illuminator, consciousness, illumines ahankara and dukkha and everything it illumines. The illuminator is always free from the dharma of the illumined. Atmana na atmana dharma sambhavati. Therefore, dukkhitvam cannot be dharma of Atma, it is dharma of Ahankara. So, kutosya dukkha sambandha drushe asya drushe kutah dukkha sambandha syat. Asya drushe pratyekātmana. This drushi, that is pratyekātma, innermost self, how can dukkha sambandha syat? How can there be sambandha? Dukkha sambandha is ahamvritti. Who is drushi? He is the very illuminator of ahamvritti. They call it witness. So, witness of ahamvritti, illuminator of ahamvritti. So, ahamvritti is the sambandha with dukkha. So, how can there be sambandha with drushi or illuminator of ahamvritti? सर्वधर्मरहितश्चेत् प्रत्येगात्मा कथम तस्य अनुभव इति. If pratyekātma is nirdharmaka, dukkitvam is not the dharma of Atma, sukhitvam also is not the dharma of Atma. Atma is nirdharmaka, nirvishesha, nirguna. Katham tasya anubhava. Then how do you experience Atma? Because it is our experience that whatever we experience always has some qualification. Call it dharma, qualification, attribute. Whatever we experience has an attribute, has a qualification as dharma. So a pot has potness and cloth has clothness and iron, the fire has heat, etc. But sarva dharma rahita, which has no qualification, no attribute, nothing to distinguish. Dharma distinguishes one object from the other. So fire is hot. Here is dharma of fire that distinguishes fire from others which do not have that dharma. Atma does not have dharma, therefore Atma cannot be distinguished from anything. So you can experience something when you can distinguish it from other things, like this is pot. So therefore that which possesses potness is the object I experience. Because the potness distinguishes this object from other objects. Atma has no distinction. Therefore, katham tasya anubhava, meaning that our eyes, our sense organs of perception and mind can only experience those things which have qualifications, names and forms. We can only experience names and forms which have some or the other qualification or attribute. Atma has no name, no form, no attribute, no dharma, nothing. So how does it become an object of experience? So the next verse says, Drushireva anubhuyeta svenaiva anubhavatmana tada bhasataya janma Dhyosya anubhavasmrutah. Drushireva anubhuyeta svenaiva anubhavatmana svenaiva anubhavatmana drushireva anubhuyeta. Because Atma is Anubhava Swarupa. Therefore, you don't need to do anything to create an experience, because experience is the very nature of the Atma. You say, how do you say experience nature? The consciousness nature of Atma, which illumines every experience. An experience can take place provided that experience eliminates, the consciousness eliminates that. And therefore, Atma is that eliminator. Therefore, see, the reason why something devoid of dharma cannot be experienced when that something is anatma. Because anatma requires to be eliminated by atma. And by elimination through mind and sense organ. And mind and sense organ can only live in names and forms, attributes, dharma, etc. Otherwise, that is the role of the sense organs to distinguish one object from the other because of dharma or attributes. See, if Atma had to be experienced like Ghatapata, it would never happen. But although you say that Atma doesn't need to be experienced, that would have been a clear answer, Clear answer is, what do we have to experience Atma? Atma is nature of experience, and therefore understand that you are already experiencing Atma. It is not that you have to create experience of Atma, recognize what you are experiencing. So, but I am experiencing part, etc. All right. So, part is experienced because of what? Element because of what? You cannot experience part unless you first experience yourself a consciousness. First thing that is not that shines is Atma consciousness. Then it may eliminate aham vritti and then ghatakar, ghatapata, etc. But anyway, here they are answering. Drushi anubhuveda svena anubhavatmana. Atma is anubhava swarupa, therefore drushi or the drashta or the eliminator experience is always experience. But then how come I don't know that I am Brahman is always experienced? So experiencing Brahman is one thing, recognizing Brahman is something else or something more is required. Vedanta says that you don't have to create experience of Atma. Recognize that whatever you are experiencing is Atma. You follow? It is recognizing rather than creating an experience. Therefore, tat abhasataya janmadhyah. So yes, that vritti has to take place. For recognize, not to create experience of Atma. But what I am experiencing is Atma, that recognition has to come, and that is the buddhi vritti. It's what we call jnana vritti. And when buddhi vritti is there is chidabhasa also. So tad abhasadaya janma dhiyah. Buddhi, what we call jnana vritti, janma, arises. And it always carries the abhasa. We don't have to make a separate effort for that. Asya anubhava smrutah. So when that recognition takes place, that what is Atma, what is Brahman, that thinking that what I am experiencing is different, it was a Brahma. I thought I was experiencing Ghata, Pata, Matha, etc. What I experience is Brahman alone. So, asya anubhava, that is what, that recognition is called anubhava, or recognition is called knowledge. The recognition is the buddhi vritti, therefore, tat dhyaha janma tad avasataya. This recognition is called knowledge. So experience is there, but then understanding the experience is what is required. Vedanta says you don't need to create experience. Recognize that what you are experiencing is Brahman. Experiencing is Atma. Recognition is required. That's called jnana vritti. That is where, of course, chidabhasa is there. Asya anubhava smrutah. This recognition is called anubhava, or experience of Atma, knowledge of Atma. दृशेः अनुभवस्वभावत्वात् तस्य स्वरूपे को नामन्यनुभवोपेक्षेत इत्यर्थः. Because Drishti itself is consciousness, so then where is the question of being conscious of Atma? Anubhava called consciousness. So how do you become so experiencing something means being conscious of that. Experiencing a part is being conscious of part, so also experiencing Atma is being conscious of Atma. Atma is consciousness. So what is the consciousness you are talking about in terms of being conscious of Atma? Drushehe anubhasvavatvat. Drushi, drashta, the witness, the conscious, it's of the nature of consciousness, witness. Tasya swarupe ko nama anya anubhava apeksheta. Therefore, what other experience is required for experiencing experience? Meaning that there is already the experience, it's a recognition of experience. So, tari katham tasya vishaya anubhava iti. If what you are experiencing is Atma, then what about the Vishesh Anubhava? Tat avasada janma dhiyaha. Yes, that what I am experiencing is Atma, the recognition is required, and that buddhi vritti is Jnana vritti, which of course carries an abhasa. Chaitanya avasa vyaptataya dhiya janmaiva atmana agantuka anubhava smrutah. So Chaitanya avasa vyaptataya dhiya janma. You don't even have to say that because the buddhi will always reflect consciousness. But anyways, the buddhi or the buddhi vritti arises, that is recognized because it is illumined by always carry the reflection of consciousness. So that dhiya janma. Janma or the birth or the creation or arising of that buddhi vritti, recognition of what I am experiencing. That aham brahmasmi is not that I have become that, I realize that what I am is Brahman. Therefore, Chaitanya avasa vyapniya janmaiva atmana agantuka anubhava. Therefore, you can say that this recognition that I am Atma is as though agantuka anubhava is an anubhava that was not there, it has happened. Recognition. So I am experiencing this Krishnamurti or Devadatta. I recognize, oh, this is Devadatta. How are you? What I want, So the recognition takes place. No, that is something agantuka. Devadatta is not agantuka. Experience is not agantuka. Recognition that is Devadatta is agantuka. Atma is not agantuka. Experience of Atma is not agantuka. Recognizing what I am experiencing is Atma can be called, that is what agantuka, I mean that's what dispels the ignorance or in the Brahma. Vidvadbhi ityartha, therefore, aham brahmasmi, the recognition is called anubhava by vidwan, by the wise people. Prakarantarena prasankhyanam praptim nirakaroti. So, you don't need to do anything in order for the knowledge to take place because the object of knowledge already is there. Therefore, it's recognition of what is being experienced. So, prakarantarena prasankhyanam praptim nirakaroti. Again, prasankhana is refuted by another way. Ashanayaditi. Ashanayadi nirmuktaha. Siddho mokshastvameva saha. Shrotavyaditavatyetata. Viruddham kathamuchyate. Ashanayadi nirmukta moksha tvameva moksha sasiddha. You are moksha. Mean that you are ever free. Call it moksha, freedom is your own, you are that. If moksha is understood as freedom, liberation, you are the freedom. Not that you attain moksha or something. Moksha tvameva, you are that moksha. What is that moksha? Ashanayadi nirmuktaha. That moksha is said to be freedom from all samsara dharma, such as hunger and thirst, etc. So become free from samsara dharmas. But Siddha, you already are. So, therefore, it is by, if this is say, hey, you are free from Ashanaya, you are already liberated, moksha is your nature. Suppose this Vakya does its job, which is what it is supposed to do, that's what the purpose of Shravanam, to make him see what he is. Hey, freedom is of nature. You are already liberated. You take yourself bound is not your true nature, it is a notion of, because of identification. If bondage was your nature, you would have been consistently bound, but there are moments. There are moments of happiness when you forget everything. The slapstick joke also forget everything, including yourself. At that time there is no bondage at all. And therefore, that bondage is not a consistent experience. Idea is, Dukkitvam, Baddhatvam, etc. are not consistent experiences. They are also interrupted by the opposite. Therefore, Ashanayadi nirmuktaha, there are times when you experience yourself as free from hunger and thirst, etc. Not because there is no hunger in stomach. Because there is a moment when you become free from this upadhi, identifying the upadhi, because you are identified with something else. That happiness that you feel creates maybe an identification with something else, and you become free from this identification. Siddho moksha tvameva sahat ashanayadi nirmuktaha. Moksha is a state of freedom from hunger and thirst, all samsara dharma, and that you already are. So Tika says, Sarva samsara nirmuktaha nitya siddho moksha brahma tvameva. So sarva samsara means ashanayadi vinirmuktaha. And not that you become free from hunger and thirst, you already are nitya siddha. Moksha means Brahman, Tvameva, that is what you are. So either you call it you are Brahman or you are Moksha. You Nitya Mukta you are, Nitya Mukta, that you what you are. Tvam iti Acharya Upadeshe Sati. The Acharya Upadesha is meant to help you let go. You know, the notions you are hanging on to. There is no need to hang on to my notion that I am a Jivatma, I am helpless. Why do you say that? I am no good. Why do you insist upon that? Sarva samsara nirmuktaha nitya siddho moksha brahma. Moksha means brahmatvamasi. That ashanaya pipasadi mukta. That mukta is Brahman, is self or the Brahman. Acharya Upadeshe Sati. So I never thought that my nature is freedom from hunger and thirst. No, Acharya, hey, you are free from hunger. Wait a minute, then how does hunger and thirst come? I realize that they belong to stomach or whatever, belong to prana. And then I'm just superimposing that upon myself. Then once you recognize your nature as ashanayadi vinirmukta, moksha, then now you do shravanam. Tava shrotavya the anushtayam vidyateti. Then how can you tell him there is still something remains to be done? No, you still listen to Aham Brahmasmi, or repeat Aham Brahmasmi. How can you say something needs to be done for this person? Katham viruddham uchyate. Now you must listen to Atma and you must shrotavya, mantavya, nidhyasiravya. So Shravanam is done, mantavya, some karma is to be done, mananam, some karma, nidhyasanam. So shrotavya tava. How do you insist that it still has to do something? We imagine that this Upadesha has created abiding knowledge. It is true that something needs to be done for gaining abiding knowledge. Shrotavya, mantavya, nididhyasitavya. So mananam has to be done to remove the doubts, nididhyasanam for removing the dehata buddhi. But when that happens, all for Shuddhantah Karana, then it will do that right away. So, in short, however the moksha is attained, then to say that you still now, you must continue doing something like Shravanam. The result of Shravanam is already gained. The result of eating laddu is already gained. Now you must eat laddu. But I have already gained, I have experienced the satisfaction. So when the result of Shravanam moksha is gained, then now you must still do Shravanam. How can it be? Katham viruddham uchyate nyavikriyam brahmatvam kartasa yadi vachah pramanam syat. Because avikriyam brahmatvam, that's what the teacher said. You are Brahman, that is avikriyam. Devoid of all vikriya, devoid of all changes, changeless Brahman you are. Kartacha, and then say you do this. You cannot command nirvikriya atma to do something, and thereby vachah pramanam syat. No, that vachah cannot be pramanam. Avikriyam brahmatvam and kartacha, this contradictory thing, because in order for you to do something, he must become the doer. You must first become karta in order to perform a karma. So if karma of even Shravanam is required, then you must first assume the role of a karta or shrota. Unless you become shrota, you can't do Shravanam. Unless you become manta, you can't do mananam. So you are Brahman and you are shrota now. Because already Shrotritvam, everything is gone. Therefore, this contradictory thing that you are Brahman and you are Shrota or you are Karta, how come that Vachah Pramanam Syat? How can that be valid, when already he is discovered freedom? So this is how now the nature of knowledge, very beautifully discussed here, in concluding this chapter. Okay, we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shantihi Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Shakratau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Veda Vibhagine Tadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.